Not your average tabletop. Woohoo!
Welcome to Not Your Average Tabletop. I'm Zach,
And I'm Pepper.
and today we're talking about which game I should play to break in my new board game table when it comes.
Yes.
I actually this year we decided to get a Wyrmwood gaming modular gaming table. So we're hoping that'll be coming here as of when we're filming this. I think it's supposedly supposed to deliver within the next month or so. So figured we would just shoot a video about it and see. I don't know how interesting this will be. Let me know in the comments below if this is not interesting at all. But I thought it'd be an interesting topic to go over. And I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts too if you guys have gotten a new table, whether it be specifically for, just board games or if you've gotten like
Yeah.
a nice, maybe just a nicer dining table to play board games on or something. Let us know in the comments below what games you broke it in with, if you even thought about that, or yeah, what your thoughts are on breaking in a table.
Yes. You brought this idea up, and I'm like, what is he gone mad? I don't know what he's talking about with this concept, but now I have a slight grasp of what he wanted to talk about. But
Right. And
yeah,
hopefully the breaking in of the table isn't anything like what
yes.
we're seeing here.
Not the
A
actual
broken picnic table.
breaking of a table.
Yes.
Hopefully it
So,
looks a little nicer than that.
yes. But yeah, so maybe some of these games will have to be a little worried about considering some of them may be heavy, some of these options.
Yes.
But yeah, I kind of thought of a few different categories when I was thinking about this because I
Scroll.
am kind of like, because I think Zachary asked me what game I was going to play on it first, and I'm like, I hadn't really thought about that, and that's kind of what inspired the video. So, um, yeah, and then I was thinking, well, would it be a all-time favorite game? Is it that kind of thing? Is it a game that I've never played before? Brand new table, brand new game that I've been looking forward to playing.
New
Is
year, new
it
table, new me, new game.
is it a classic game that I started with? I think it's maybe a little bit different because this is a kind of actual first gaming table I've ever had.
Yeah.
So it's always been. Not saying anything's wrong with the current table. I've just always been interested in a gaming one and finally pulled the trigger. But um, yeah, or getting back to a game, yeah, that I had not played in what feels like quite some time. So those are kind of some of the main things I was thinking, or possibly even just like some more like party-ish style games, depending on, oh, do I want to invite a bunch of people over to play on it, use it the first time, or do I kind of want to do it, with a couple of people and see kind of how it feels because it's definitely going to be different than this. It's going to be a different feel, I think.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, we do mainly play at lower player counts, so I think that the first experience should be a very intimate experience with the table. I'm thinking maybe a solo game. Just really
Wow,
get to
Pepper.
know it one on one, you and the table.
That's I should have thought about that. I
Don't
didn't really
overwhelm
think
the
solo
table.
games.
You can't say, here, meet my whole extended family.
That is true. Yeah, that would be a little overwhelming for first play on it. So maybe I'll have to think about that. But yeah, that's maybe more of a Pepper thing, the solo games. I think I maybe wouldn't go quite that far, but maybe a two-player game. And yeah, I guess you could see here he's got mine open, some of my favorite games.
So
And yes,
roast his ratings, by the way, in the comments below.
yes, roast them up pretty good. But yeah, I've mostly written down like Castles of Burgundy, Five Tribes, Tapestry, which have kind of been my top game. If you go watch any of our old videos, our top games of all time, those have all made the list at number one for me. So those are kind of some of the bigger ones, and then also uh, I think I put in there like Unmatched has been
Oh, yeah.
a pretty big one in our household, and um, even on the YouTube channel, one of our
Yeah.
biggest things we did was an unmatched tournament. If you want to go check that out, uh, still trying to convince Pepper to get over here so we can film a season two of that.
Yeah, wait till we get all these new characters.
That's true. We should be getting hopefully maybe the Witcher characters sometime
Yeah.
soon. Um, but yeah, I guess what do you like any of those options, Pepper?
I
Any of
think
those,
I think
or
you picked my favorite there. Because I'm thinking you need
I guess it could be
you,
Wingspan too. I see Wingspan there. I hadn't really thought
I
about
think
that, but
Wingspan is a little too small of a game. for me. You need a big game, and you need to explore a bunch of different things. You need a big board, you need player boards. You want to be rolling dice on this new table, get the full experience, personal cards that you're holding. And I went with one you named here. I think Tapestry is probably my favorite pick for a first game because it is a huge game for us. It's a game we have a lot of content on. We used to do tap talks talking about different civilizations. It's been both of our number one for a large period of our gaming career, and I think it just has a lot to it. It has a huge table presence, which I think would be testing the limits of a new
True.
gaming table.
That's true. That is a good point. Could kind of test what it can do because it's actually going to be a little bit smaller space than this one has, and it's got the kind of the overhang, the edge that most of these tables have. So it's got kind of the inlaid thing where you can put like a cover on it and have it flat. But
Yeah.
and then I'm guessing you'd get a little bit more space than what you'd otherwise get
Oh,
having the thing in there. But yeah, I think the only other option if we went bigger, because I'm like the thing I love about the table we currently have, which is just a dining room table. Is it's actually very large. I didn't realize how large it was until you start playing some of these games, and then you see like people post on Instagram like the same game, and it barely fits on their table. I'm like, wow, I didn't realize how massive of a table that we had, and it was perfect for board gaming. Um, and yeah, that made it kind of hard because I'm like, I don't really want to lose that space. But then I think like the next option was almost like a war game table that would have just taken up way too much room. It was like a huge increase. So ended up losing a little bit of space, but it would be good to test that. So
yeah.
yeah, game like Tapestry definitely fill up the table pretty well. So that might be a good one. Um, and also, so the other thing like I said, was thinking about is maybe a new game. Um, and in a way, and it's also one of my favorite ones as of right now. It's Dune Imperium, but actually recently got Dune Imperium Uprising and kind of the upgraded stuff in that one. So I was like, I could play Dune Imperium Uprising, and that one would take up a little bit of space, I think. Um, Probably not as much as Tapestry, just because this one's not really you're not really building, or you don't have a bunch of extra boards and stuff. Just kind of got that main board. But
Yeah.
this would be probably a good one if I did do like a four-player game.
Oh,
I
yeah.
guess would be a solid one for that. Just because I think this one plays pretty well at those player counts. I guess I don't know about the Uprising if that changes things significantly or not, but this is kind of a one that I considered as well because of that new slightly different version of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a new game can be exciting. I think I tend to go towards the kind of old favorites and maybe a favorite that you haven't played in a while. But if you did want something new and like just to really boost the table and that first impact that it has, I think something like a Clank Legacy Season 2 would be a good one, which we did recently deliver. I don't know if we can hold off on Clank Legacy Season 2 long enough for this table to show up. But
I will say that yeah, I have some written down, some that I've not played at all, and that was the top of my list was Clank Legacy 2. And then after that, kind of similar, I had Ticket to Ride Legacy
oh yes,
on the list as well. And then Civolution on Mars, and then Isofarian Guard. I was like, could test out the whole you can cover up the bottom and leave it out kind of
true.
factor to it, and still be able to play a game on top of it. So I could test that piece out if I wanted to do this because I think
True.
this is
Keep like a campaign game under there, and
right.
yeah, that's true. That's a good idea.
So, so those are kind of the ones I was thinking of with that. Civolution, I'm really excited to play. That was what I was thinking. That one, obviously, legacy game is kind of a big thing to start on there, which would be similar to this campaign where you could leave it set up if you wanted to go through it. So I thought those would all be good. And On Mars was kind of just the other one, kind of similar to Civolution. That I was like, I've kind of just been wanting to play that one and try that one out. And I think that's another bigger game. So a lot of bigger games on here that I was thinking about for
Beautiful
sure.
game. But I think that one might be a little intimidating for a first game. You're already learning this new table and how it works. I
That's
don't know
true.
if you want to go for the heaviest game that we own as well and learn it.
That is true because yeah, it's I have not played any Mattel Lacerda games before, so yeah, that might be a little bit much. Let me know in the comments below if you think that's much. If you have played on Mars, based on the other games we're naming here,
Yep.
that we're mentioning, are likely some of the mostly mentioned kind of some of our
Yeah.
middle to heavyweight games, I think,
Yeah.
so far. And yeah, that one might have that problem, but it looks like it does take up a lot of space. So that'd be another
Yeah.
good way of doing that. Testing the limits of that table. Oh boy.
Also thinking Scythe initially. Until I thought of Tapestry, I think this one was my favorite. Just for some reason, the table presence just seems pretty epic for this one, as you have that map out there and your units. Kind of feels like a war game type of experience, at least visually, and a lot of components here. Not, I guess it does have some player boards, and sadly, no dice. I feel like you need to be rolling dice on that new table. And that's a big thing for me. That's what put Tapestry over this one personally.
That's true. I had meant to think about a few more games that did dice because now I would have that. That's one of the things with the. I want to call it a wall, but it's not really a wall. But the sides and ram them into the sides and see how well that actually works. So yeah, I didn't actually think of any. Maybe Panda Royale would be a light game with a lot of dice. Could have a lot of players playing it.
Yeah.
Uh, that'd be a fun one that was new to us kind of this year. But yeah, Scythe, and then that would be one that I actually haven't gotten to the table in a while. And I think another one we saw on my list of my top ratings. Some of these kind of fall under multiple of these categories was Terraforming Mars.
Oh, yeah.
I would think that would be a pretty good one as well, similar to Tapestry, especially once you put your kind of tableau of cards out there.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
going to take up a
Looks
lot of
nice.
space, and this is a game that I really love,
Yeah. I think
and
that
have really
one's,
come to
I
enjoy.
think that's hitting on a lot of different things as well. I like the table presence, especially if you have those upgraded components, which you do, in
Hmm.
the center of the table, a big board, and a huge tableau that you're building out. So I think it'll just really give the table a workout. And yeah, I guess cards. I guess I don't know. I don't remember exactly what upgrades you have for like kind of are there like holders for things anywhere on like the sides or not in this version?
Yeah, I don't remember what it all has in the upgraded stuff, but yeah, I think overall it'll look even better than what this looks like. And then that would give me a chance to fit in another category. I did back like I think the Prelude 2, uh,
Oh
and I have
yeah.
not gotten to that either. And I think with that, I ended up getting the little domes that can go with those special pieces. So
Ooh.
um, be able to try those out a little bit. But kind of along with that, for games I'd like to get back to, and I maybe haven't played in a while, most of these over a year, although the first one I will say is Arborea or Arborea. And that is one that I played earlier this year and then bought a copy of because I liked it. I played at a convention, really enjoyed it,
Oh,
and just haven't had a chance to get back to it. And this was one that I'm kind of like, this would maybe be a good time to take it out and kind of play it for my copy for the first time and get back to a game that feels like ages ago that I played it. But I suppose it has almost been a year because that was I think in early February, so it's
yeah.
been a while. But outside of that, I also one of my favorite games that I just nobody else loves quite as much as I do. I bet Pepper can guess it. Game that I'm a champion of. I'm the only one that's a. Yep, that first one right there. F this. Fall of the Mountain King. Yes. And that's one that I think that would take up a good chunk of the table as well. But I just really love almost everything going on in this game, and but it is a little daunting, but could be a good reason to force it out on people.
There's more stuff in this than I remembered.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's pretty big. Yeah. I think that would be like something that Arborea. I haven't played it, so when I'm thinking like in 10 years, in 30 years, when you're talking about this first play you had on this table that has been with you for generations, you want it to be memorable. So I'm just thinking a game that you love. So that's why I lean towards a Tapestry, a Terraforming Mars, a Scythe. And I guess Fall of the Mountain King is one that you do love. So I would be in favor of this.
Yeah,
Uh,
that maybe knocks off this other one that I've played once that I'd like to get back to, kind of a bigger game, The Great Wall.
Oh,
But this one, I think I'd want to play with more players, and it's kind of a little overwhelming. Kind of makes me think of the On Mars situation again, where I know the first time I played this with Michaela and Abby, we kind of struggled our way through it, and since it's been so long since we played it, I'm guessing we struggle our way through it again, and would like the first experience on it to probably be a good one.
yeah,
So probably wouldn't be the greatest thing, but this is just. I think it's a great looking production, great looking
yeah,
game, fun game, but just a little long, a little overwhelming, especially
yeah,
when you haven't played it many times, as in one time, a year or so ago, uh,
yeah. That's true.
or however long. Wasn't this year, right? Was it last year?
I think it was last year. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I saw it.
the last one, getting back to, which might shock you, Pepper, I don't think we've played this. I haven't played this in like a year or more. And it shocks me to think about it every time I think about it now. And that is Quacks of Quedlinburg. I have not played that in a long time, and I love the game, and I don't know how, because it's very approachable. I don't know how that one has not gotten back to the table in so long.
That is true. That is true. That is crazy. I don't. It could be 2 years since I played this game.
It might be 2 years since I've played the game.
I'm like, it's
I,
still
I feel
in.
like it can't be that long, but it feels like it could. I could, if
Feels.
someone told me I had not played this in over 2 years, I'd say I could believe it.
I don't know if I played it since we got the second expansion and played that a couple times. I
You
don't think
know,
I played it since. And I'm like, that was in the old house, and that house is demolished by now. So, and we've been away from it for like 2 or 3 years. So I'm like, it could be a while, quite a while. But yeah, I think this. I don't know if this is the best one for. I mean, it's a good one for a good game that you love. Getting back to it. But it doesn't have like the biggest table presence. It's a very kind of solo, just keep it on your board, but there's
you
still
know,
quite a bit out there. But yeah, I'm like, a new table is a new beginning. So then you're just starting over. And I think you could go back to the games that got you into the hobby. So that would be games like Ticket to Ride, Carcassonne, Settlers of Catan. I'd probably go, I don't know which of those three. I mean, Carcassonne, it'd be kind of cool, exploring, building out the map onto the board or onto the new table. But that is a pretty simple game. And Catan's a classic. You get to roll those dice. It's the only of the three that actually has dice.
true.
And I think Ticket's probably your favorite of those three, though. And that's seems like just the most popular of those three, and you have a lot of maps to explore, new maps there. I guess did you mention that one for kind of new things? I guess you did the Legacy.
Yeah, when I said Ticket to Ride Legacy, I also had written next to that like yeah, any of the maps potentially. But yeah, when I was thinking of the classic games, I did think of those ones that you mentioned. 'Cause, yeah, I thought, oh, Carcassonne, especially with like all the expansion stuff, just
Oh
fill
yeah,
the whole table would be pretty fun. But I know, uh, I'm guessing you will not come here just to experience this to make it me and you playing on this one. So, and I know Michaela's not the biggest fan of Carcassonne. She doesn't love Carcassonne, so I feel like that's part of the consideration too. I'm like, Michaela probably has to like the game that we end up playing, uh,
Catan. I
just
feel
so
like
that it's
everyone
enjoyable
thinks
for all of us.
everyone's like, oh, we've moved on from Catan. Okay, all these are going to be custom pictures. I'm not going to find an actual picture of the game.
But yeah, I probably wouldn't pick Catan
Yeah,
myself.
it's only for a gimmick of just going back to an original game. It's really not one that we play. So I think Ticket to Ride would be like the pick for a
Yeah.
classic.
Otherwise, I wrote down kind of similar to those, either Cribbage, which
Oh yeah,
I also think Michaela's maybe mixed on. Otherwise, games that played a lot, It's a Wonderful World, Planet Unknown, or King
yes.
Domino was also a classic one that I was thinking.
King Domino's a good one. King Domino's a good one. It feels a little small, but
It does feel that's the only thing with it. I'm like, I really like it. It's really comfort foody, but it's a little small.
I did have Planet Unknown written down. I thought that'd be because that takes up quite a table space. Those player boards are
True.
pretty big.
And
I think
that
that would be
lazy
a good one.
Susan.
And that lazy Susan. Um, but yeah, like each player gets one of those, and this is one that works at high player counts. So if you wanted to
Yep.
invite a bunch of people over, everyone in our group loves this game. So if you do have a high group number, I would say go with this one. unless it's more of like a party game situation. Uh,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, and that was kind of the last thing I kind of thought about was it could be kind of a party game, possibly, if did have a lot of people over. And in that case, I was thinking maybe Forgotten Waters, because that's like more, it's not necessarily a party game, but it
yeah,
feels party-ish, and
yeah,
you can still, it still feels big to me. I
yeah.
don't know. Otherwise, I wrote on here Bob's Burgers, because that's a classic in this household.
Oh, Bob's Burgers.
It's way better than it
It
has
is.
any right to be.
I gotta pull it up here. I don't know.
Otherwise, I had on this list, and maybe this would be more if you were going to be here. Marvel United.
Ooh. Yeah, that would be a good one. That'd be a good one. Do you have the playmat? I forget if you back that. Yes, you did, because that is the only thing that delivered for a while. And
It
then,
was the only thing I could have just
um,
put that on the table waiting, but I did get the rest of the stuff.
Marvel United, that'd be pretty good.
That Bob's Burger got the 7.1 it deserved. It's kind of
Pretty
good.
good. Did you rate it? Let's see. You gave it a 7. So, pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
might even deserve more than that, but
we gotta get some content on this. We might have. I forget if we ever did. I don't think we did.
I
But
don't think we did.
like we got that. We're not fans of the show. We're like, okay, this is gonna be absolute trash. We played it and I was like, hey, pretty good. Thank you, the OP games. I think we want to give
It was
away.
pretty good.
It was actually fun. But yeah, that's I don't know. I don't know what I'd go with. I think, yeah, probably the classic. I mean, if you did do Ticket to Ride, I don't think I would even go with new stuff. I think I would just go back to Europe, possibly, or the original America map, and just keep it simple. Get something comfortable to enjoy this new thing, something that you like. I think just make sure it's a game that is going to stay in your favorite games, has been there for a while, and you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking as well. And otherwise, I was just thinking possibly just if I knew when it was going to be or kind of had an idea, it's like, oh, make a weekend game day with others around it, so then can play a bunch of them. Obviously, still one is going to have to be the first one,
Yeah,
but you could maybe do, you know, several of these games potentially,
that's true.
play all of them. But yeah, or yeah, Ticket to Ride Marathon if you do want to do that. Start with Europe and then just use all those expansion boards or something. So we got a big decision ahead of me. Everyone in the comments
Big one.
below, leave me a comment telling me what I should do. What would you do in my situation?
Do not mess it up, Zach. Once you do it, you can't go back, Bob.
I can't go back. I'm gonna have to get a new table. But yeah,
Feel bad.
third third world problems trying to figure out what the first game to play on this table will be. But uh, just just excited about it and see uh, what I should play on it.
Ooh, Bob's
That'd be
Burgers re-implements this game. Look at these cool pieces. Why would they get rid of those cool pieces? My goodness. Yeah, I feel bad. That the table you have has served us very well. I guess I don't know what you're gonna do with it. Is it gonna be firewood now?
I don't think
Um,
it's gonna be firewood. I actually think well, let's see.
okay.
This, there's unfortunately board games are taking up a lot of space right now, and probably need to cull some, but it's kind of an area where maybe it might fit, so we can keep it because
Oh, yeah.
usually have our
Oh,
annual Not Your Average Tabletop tournament, and we usually have to set up like a folding table and stuff. So I'm like, it'd be nice if we could have this for like that, or even like like initially, it's going to be hard for me to want to eat on this, and
oh,
this kind of doubles as a board game table currently and a place to eat when we have family over. So
yeah,
it's like, not that I can't do it. It's just probably going to be tough those initial times, and
yeah.
6 months in, you know,
Gotta.
just like a car after you drive it a while, and it's like, I don't really care as much about it. I mean, I care. I don't want it to be totally destroyed or anything,
Yeah.
but after a while, you don't really care about minor things. Or
So that other one can be our backup gaming table and eating
yes,
table because
exactly.
it's taken some damage over the years.
It has. If we didn't have this rug on there, there's a big old spot on it. Well, it's more than one spot. There's a lot of spots on it, but one in particular that
The
was
old
caused by sweet
burn mark.
potatoes. Oh, Eli.
The memories. The memories.
Yes. But yeah, I think those are kind of the things I was thinking. I was thinking of what game to play. In the comments below, let me know what you broke in your gaming table with, or whatever table you are currently using, whether it is a gaming table or just a nice
Yeah.
dining table or whatever it may be. Maybe you made your own table. I know a lot of people do that. I would have liked to do that, but I'm not a very handy person, and
If
I
we
feel
were,
like it would. I probably, if I spent the time on it, could probably do it,
yeah,
but yeah, that's a little tougher when you don't really know what you're doing and don't have any of the tools to do it.
that's true.
You're
That's
just like,
true.
oh, it's going to end up costing me way more than that, and it's going to be way worse.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be a plain table. This is a gaming table. It's a little
Right,
more complicated.
right, exactly. Not just putting five boards together and calling it a table. Obviously, what you do with a table normally.
But hopefully you can do better than this picture.
Eh,
I mean,
that might be
before it
what
was
I end up
broken,
being.
it's pretty nice, probably.
Yes, but once we get that table, I'll probably make a video or two on that as well if you're interested in that.
Yeah.
So subscribe if you want to see that. As of filming this, we are close to 1,000 subs. So if you've made it this far and thought the video was entertaining at all, if you could give us a sub, we'd really appreciate that. Like to get over that mark by the end of the year, but if we don't, it is what it is. Uh, yeah, otherwise, we hope to see you on those other videos. And as always, don't forget to keep on nibbling on our content.